Hello, you beautiful, smart person watching this, because if you want to watch this, that means you are smart. I'm Anna and I'm a biology PhD student, and today I want to talk about hair. So when I conceived the idea for this channel, then my number one beauty obsession was hair. It's not that true right now, I kind of just don't care for it these days, but yeah, at the time I just really wanted to research what hair is made of. How does it behave if I put products on it? So I did my little literature researching on the subject, and honestly I didn't expect it to be this complex. But I will try to summarize it, but as I realized, hair is actually like a really broad subject, so I could make a lot more videos on it, so comment me if you are interested in more. Don't comment if you are not. Comment if you aren't. Whatever. So yeah, let's just talk about the subject. What even is hair made of? First of all, hair contains a lot of protein. Now, as for proteins, I think they are often described as some kind of magical health ingredient that you just, it has to be like 1/3 of your diet and you're suddenly going to be super fit and healthy and your hair will reach the floor and all that stuff. But really, proteins they are special, then they also aren't that much. They are basically the most important molecules that make up our bodies, but it also means that most of our body is made of proteins. So it's not just special for hair or muscle, it's 20% of your whole body. So for example, in my case, it's like 11 kilograms. So yeah, proteins aren't only needed for healthy hair, but for health in general. What are other stuff that is inside hair? Other stuff that can be found in your hair is lipids and polysaccharides. Or if you just use normal words for this, fat and sugar. So yeah, fat and sugar is not a good idea to consume in like a huge amount, but they are necessary. Now that might sound a little surprising if you think that those are unhealthy, but of course they are needed for survival, that's why we eat them. Only in a small amount, of course. Considering that hair grows from our body, it's not surprising that it's made up of the same stuff that our whole bodies are made of. Hair grows from stem cells in your scalp. Now stem cells are another thing that I think are just kind of like overly mysticized, but really stem cells are also like not a huge big deal. They are not like the cure for everything. All of our body contains stem cells. We have stem cells for different kind of tissues, and hair is one of them. Now, a big difference between your hair and the rest of your body is that hair is of course dead. So when hair grows, the stem cells die, but they don't just die like and then waste away. They die in a controlled, organized manner. They arrange themselves in the structure that forms the structure of hair, the layers and all that. And they also die in a manner where they accumulate the contents that are needed to form hair. So what are exactly these contents? Now, as I said at the beginning, hair is made of mostly protein, and the most abundant protein in hair is keratin. Keratin is a type of intermediate filament. It's a type of protein that is like long strings, and they have structural roles, they have supportive roles. They also can be found in different parts of your body, like different parts of the cell, like the cell nucleus. They support the walls of the cell nucleus and protect the DNA. But they can also be found in hair. In hair, they are woven into a structure.
In this structure, two coiled strands are braided together, like a two-strand braid. The picture shows two of these braids crossing. So if you braid your hair, it's braidception.
You might have studied in high school maybe that there are different types of molecular bonds. There are stronger ones, there are weaker ones. Strong ones, for example, the strongest is the covalent bond, when two atoms basically merge together. And then there are the weaker types like hydrogen bonds. In proteins, all kinds of bonds can be found. The most common type of bonds in keratin are isopeptide bonds. They are a type of covalent bond. The role of isopeptide bonds in hair is to keep the keratin strands stuck together. As they are covalent bonds, they cannot just be broken up. They are not that interesting from like a hairdresser, hair product point of view, because they cannot be broken up. However, the most important role in maintaining the structure of hair, and they are also the reason why hair is not water soluble. I guess that would be kind of awkward. And then there are disulfide bonds. They are a special type of covalent bond that can be only formed between cysteines. Cysteine is one of the amino acids, one of the building blocks of proteins. And two cysteines can form a disulfide bond. Now, disulfide bonds are interesting to us because they can be broken up when you are perming your hair. So when you are perming, you are permanently breaking up these disulfide bonds in the keratin strands. and this permanently weakens the structure of hair. So while it weakens the structure, it can be reshaped. However, these bones cannot be reformed, which means that your hair is permanently weakened. And then another type of bond are hydrogen bonds. Hydrogen bonds are a weak type of bond that can be found in any protein. They have the ability to reform, connect and then reform dynamically. So as I said earlier, these cells have an organization, a structure. So these keratin-rich cells are organized into layers. The outermost layer of hair is called the cuticle. The cuticle contains a lot of keratin, and it is what is responsible for how glossy your hair is. It has a structure that is like tiles on a rooftop. Even the cuticle itself can be divided into like 6 to 8 layers, but what is different between those 6 to 8 layers is that all are differing in their cysteine content. So they have different strength because they can form more or less disulfide bonds. So when you want anything to get inside your hair, like hair dye or bleach, that means that you have to get inside through the cuticle. Now that is why most hair products that do stuff like this, like hair dye, are damaging your hair, because you have to like open up these ties. Now what conditioners and hair oiling does is that they smooth down the surface, they close pack these ties. The role of the cuticle is protective, to protect the inner layers of hair from any kind of dirt and water from getting inside. The next layer is the cortex. The cortex contains even more keratin, actually about 15%. For comparison, your skin only contains 2% of keratin. The cortex also contains a lot of cysteines, which means a stronger structure. The amount of H bonds is also the highest inside the cortex. The shape of the cells inside the cortex are different. They have like a long structure and they have a fibrillar structure of keratin inside them. This is what provides the most strength of hair. And this is also what is responsible for the shape of your hair, so how curly it is. The cortex is also the layer that has to be altered the most if you want to perm your hair. The innermost layer of hair is called the medulla. The medulla can only be found closer to the skull. Interestingly, the medulla contains a lot of air. And even more interestingly, the medulla is completely missing in grey hair. So this can be an explanation to why grey hair is a little bit weaker and drier. What the medulla contains a lot of is glycogen. Glycogen is a special type of protein which has like a protein core and then it's covered in like branches of sugars. So this is why, as I said, sugars are also an important molecule that makes up your body. And also this molecule is just so pretty. So yeah, this was my little short summary of what hair is made of and what its structure is like. I hope you liked it. Thank you for watching. See you soon, and until then you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram.